What is up, family? Hey, welcome into another edition of Make Every Second Count Live with me, your host and international award-winning Make Every Second Count speaker. And oh boy, am I pumped up. Because tonight we have a fantastic guest that is going to tell us why we have to love ourselves no matter what. But I ask you if you would please share this video out. Give us all kinds of thumbs up, hearts, frowny faces, cry faces. Heck, you can even get mad at us. I don't care. Just give us some kind of reaction so we know you are paying attention. And then I also ask if you would please keep the comments coming. We like to have more of a conversation instead of making a presentation. But with no further ado, I would like to bring to the stage the star herself.
Oh,
Hey, Smart,
hello.
how are you
Hello,
doing?
I am doing great, Mr. Jeff. How are you doing? I see you got my name tatted on you. I love it.
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. I better not show this to my parents. They'll be like, "You can't put an ex's name on you." Oh, well,
That part.
But, so if you would like to go ahead and go through a short introduction, tell everybody who
Mhm.
you are, where you're from, and what you do. I'm
Yes.
going to be inviting a few people on my phone, so
Okay.
I'm listening. I'm just looking down.
Okay, Jeff, thank you. First
Thank
and
you.
foremost, I want to say thank you for having me, Jeff. I am extremely honored to be here, to be on this platform that you have provided for people. So thank you so much. Like you said, my name is Starr Smith. I am a mother. I am an entrepreneur. I am an aspiring author, writer, and I'm originally from Pasadena, California, but I currently reside in Phoenix, Arizona. And I've been living out here for over 20 years now, if you can absolutely imagine that. I am just
Are
out
you
here
even that
working.
old?
Don't do that, Jeff. Yes. First of all, I'm not old. I'm seasoned.
No,
I
you
get
don't
better.
even look 20 years old.
Yes, I actually have a 21-year-old old, to be honest with you.
Oh,
So
well, that
I
would be
am. I'm up there. I'm a seasoned vet in the game, so I can appreciate that. But yeah, as I stated, I'm a mother. I have four boys, so who are my pride and joys, even though they irritate me so much. But I wouldn't trade them for anything in the world. I am a sibling of 10 children. My mother had 10 children. Yes, so
Wow.
I am number four. So I have five sisters and four brothers, and if you can imagine, I actually grew up in a foster home, Jeff.
Wow.
Yeah, so all of us grew up in the same foster home together. So our mother was heavy addicted to drugs, but just living that type of lifestyle and being a mother, changes perspective on life and how to raise your children. So I'm happy that I can speak about that because so many people go through it, and they don't even live to tell the story, or they may be embarrassed to tell their story, but
Yeah.
I'm here just to let you know that you can make it through. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
That is really cool. And
Yeah.
I happen to know from my own life in going through a severe car accident and being
Hmm.
told I would never walk again after coming out of a coma that
Wow.
life has a tendency to try and throw things in our way to get us off track, try to hold us down from climbing that ladder to success. And I am so proud that you have come through the foster care system and
Hmm.
you have prevailed and you're an awesome citizen now.
Thank you. I am. I'm excited. I'm excited. So
Yes.
yes, that's a crazy background, crazy life. And you are right. I really feel like, God gives his strongest soldiers to gives his strongest battles to his strongest soldiers. And I'm a firm believer that he wouldn't give us no more than we can actually handle. So I'm glad he entrusts me that much to handle so much.
Well, we have Ben Bruce in the comments. He's from
Mhm.
Lagos, Nigeria. So this is
Yes.
an international show. We have
Ooh.
Adam, who is in the UK, and then we have Miss Tasha Salinas, who is saying star. Yeah,
Star, Miss Tasha. Hello, honey.
it's great to see her in the house.
Yes,
So
absolutely. She's a sweetheart.
I know you talked a little bit about being in a foster home with
Hmm.
11 brothers and sisters or 10.
10, so it's 10 of us all together. Hmm.
All right. So, how was that? I mean, what was that like? Was it hard or
Yeah, I entered the foster care system at 2 years old. So by the time I had arrived there, my older siblings, my three older sisters had already been there. And, my mother was drug addicted. And, I really didn't know that my mother had a drug problem till I was like maybe 11 or 12. I just always grew up with the perception that I have two moms. It didn't, nothing was different to me. It, I didn't know that my life wasn't normal until I got older, because I thought living in the foster home, having two moms, I didn't think that was my normalcy.
well, that's good
It,
though.
yeah,
If
I
that
mean,
feels normal to you, that's probably for the best.
yeah, I mean, but I didn't realize it wasn't normal until I started telling people my story. I mean, our thing was is that, to be honest with you, Jeff, we were just walking paychecks. Me and my sisters, we lived in the attic, slept on mattresses, and she had her own children, and her own children had their own rooms. They had brand new clothes. They had the good stuff. We didn't have any of that. So the money that that she received from me and my siblings went to benefit her children and their lifestyle. They got to
Wow.
do everything. They got the brand new clothes for school, the brand new backpacks. They got their hair done, and they were the ones benefiting and profiting off of the funds that the government that they received from the government
Wow.
from my mother having these children. So my mother was heavily uh, addicted to crack, and these babies, they came back to back to back to back. And after a while, after I started to think, even speaking to my mother later on in life, I started to think that this woman just enabled my mother at the end of the day. Because when you put your children in the system, it's meant to help that person get herself together and eventually get her children back. But if you think about it, if you have this woman that is bearing these children, she's able to do drugs, and every time she has a child, she knows it's going to go to a foster home, and she knows the foster lady's going to come get her. That's going to enable her to go out there and continue to do whatever she wants.
Mhm.
At a point in time, Jeff, my mother even lived with us in the foster home. That's
Wow.
a big no-no. That's a huge no-no. But that just goes to show you that no one ever came to check up on us. No caseworkers ever came to the house. No one ever expected anything, because at the end of the day, we were just foster kids. So that's why I say it was normal to me. But when I tell people my story, they're like, "Star, that's not normal." But I'm a child. How do I know how other people live? How do I know that other kids aren't in foster care? Like, I didn't know that. That's all I knew. And like I said, I didn't know I didn't have a normal childhood until I got older. So it just, it was what it was at the end of the day. What do you expect me to do?
Wow, that's ugh, that's crazy. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry to hear that that happened to you.
No,
But at
don't
the same
apologize,
time,
Jeff.
I'm glad that it happened to you because it
Yes.
made you who you are today. And who
Right.
you are today is strong. I can tell that. And you're
Absolutely.
stronger than you even realize. And that's the
Oh,
problem that
yeah.
people out there. are often stronger than they even realize.
Right.
And they have the power to go through anything. In fact, have you ever thought that there has been nothing that you have been through that you didn't live through? I'll
Every
say
day.
that again. So
Every
there is
day.
nothing that you have been through that you didn't live through.
That
So
part.
hand me the worst thing that you've been through, and I'll show you who's strong, who came out of it. And that's the same for everybody out there. They just don't realize that. And I
Mm-hmm.
am so proud of you for doing what you have done. But I
Oh,
know
thank you.
you said that you grew up in that foster home and you grew up without love. What was
Hmm.
that like?
Um, you know what? I didn't know I didn't have love, to be honest with you. I didn't, we didn't get hugs, we didn't get kisses. I definitely didn't receive that from my mother. I didn't receive that from my foster mother. To be honest, it just wasn't something that was done. It wasn't something that was normal. I mean, granted, we seen her give hugs and kisses to her own children, but it wasn't something that was given to us. It was, we have the same birthday cake every year. Christmas, Christmas and presents. My birthday is December 22nd. The only thing I got for my birthday was to open one gift under the tree. I never had a birthday
Well,
party.
my
Never had
dad
any.
is
Yeah.
December 21st, and so is my niece. So, uh,
Wow.
happy early birthday to you.
Thank
But
you.
it's neat to hear you say that you were born the
Yeah.
day after them.
Yes, yes, we are those Capricorn babies, so absolutely. And that's just what it was for me, Jeff.
Yeah.
I didn't know that that wasn't okay. I think I didn't know that wasn't okay until I started having my own children. Because after a while, I started associating love with different things. I started associating with drugs and alcohol and being promiscuous and, even having an abortion at 14 years old by a 22-year-old. So I'm out here looking for something that I never had. Thinking that something's wrong with me, like, and things you see on TV and other things, and it's like, dang, I want that. Like, I want that mother-daughter relationship. Like, I want a father relationship. But I mean, as I got older, it just progressed into something different, and it really wasn't until I really started having my boys that I really started to discover what unconditional love was. And to this day, I exuberate that to my children. I never want my boys to ever feel like they have a mother who doesn't love them, because I know what that feels like as a child. So I nurture them with love. It's disgusting how much love I have for those boys. 'Cause, I don't want them to ever have to go through life looking for something that they don't know what they're looking for. So that was a big part of me jumping into my 40s and realizing, like, wow, I never where did this come from all of a sudden? Like, why am I searching for something that I didn't know I was missing?
So, did you lack self love while you were in the
Mm,
foster care system? And then have you developed that self love since then?
yeah, I would really say I did, because I was looking for it in the wrong places. I was searching for it, and whether that was trying to get it from, little from boys, or just out there being fast and being grown. But it was like I didn't have anyone to tell me, hey, Star, you shouldn't be having sex at 14 years old. You should be trying to go to college. You should be trying to go to school. You should be trying to focus on yourself, and your virginity is something that is very sacred as a young woman. So no one explained these things to me. Even, as my body went through different emotions as a young girl, nothing was ever explained to me. And I really didn't start developing self-love until a couple of years ago, and it's hard to even say that, but that's just what it was. I didn't know what I was missing until I started discovering how much I love myself, how much I value myself as a woman, as a mother, and what I wanted people to see in me, what I seen in myself. So, what you put out in this world, you get in return. So, if I'm out here carrying myself a certain way, then that's the type of behavior that I'm going to get in return. And so I had to stop doing that because I just didn't like the type of, you know, I just didn't like what I was getting in return. But I had to realize, well, this is how you're carrying yourself. This is how you're acting. This is the type of energy that you're putting out there. So I had to switch that mindset, and that's when I started developing and loving myself because I started carrying myself as I loved myself.
Now we do have Adam in the comments saying Star has overcome so much adversity. Big ups for that. And then
Thank
he
you.
also asks, how did having so many siblings affect you?
Um, well, you know what? We all lived in that household together, but we all had separate lives. To be honest with you, it wasn't as tight knit as it should have been with all of us growing up in that household together. I was the fourth child, so I was kind of too young to hang out with the older girls, and then I was too old to hang out with the kids under me. So my sisters, they were older than me. They all went to high school. They all did their own thing. They all had their own group of friends. And then the kids below me were too young for me to hang out and, play with or try to be around. So it kind of left me by myself at the end of the day. And that's just what it was. And I had built up this wall. Everyone would say, "Oh, she's so mean," and she's mad, and this. It was like because I was in a weird spot. I was like the middle child, and I was just in this weird place. And it's just that when you really didn't have anyone to talk to, it's like, what do? You start acting out, and
Yeah.
that's just what it was.
So were there many rivalries between the probably not if you weren't that close.
I mean, there was.
Oh,
There
really?
were rivalries with my older sisters and my foster mother's daughters. We would, it got so bad one time, Jeff. It's like my mother started teaching me and my sisters how to steal from department stores
Oh,
because we were just tired of hand-me-downs. And we were all in high school, and and I'm in junior high, and it's like we're tired of walking around here looking crazy. So my mother literally taught us how to steal. And Jeff, we were good. We were so good at it that the foster girls would get mad at us because we would start dressing better than them. And then they would tell us, well, if you don't start stealing stuff for us, we're going to tell mom. They're going to tell the foster mom. So it was always this back and forth. It was like a competition, but I'm like, why are we all in competition? You guys are getting all the money. We're walking around here looking like bums, So it was, trust me, it was crazy. That house was crazy. It was a house full of girls, like literally a house full of girls. So it was crazy,
yeah.
Jeff.
Do you stay in contact with any of them today? And if you do you express your love for them as well, or how does that work?
No, I don't. I haven't spoken to any of my foster sisters, to be honest with you. And to be honest with you, I haven't really spoken to any of my biological sisters. It's just, the foster sisters, they're just, they went on to do different things. They went on to go to college and they got degrees and they're doctors. And, one is a head of surgery at Kaiser. So they went on to do things while me and my family and my sisters and my brothers, we didn't do any of that. We weren't told that we can go to college, that we can better educate ourselves, that we can be more than what we came from. So that's what I said. When we lived in that house, we all lived different lives because we were all told different things. So I like to say the money that they got helped better their life, but it didn't help to better our life. Me and my siblings, they are they're still traumatized from living in that foster homes. A lot of them are drug addicts. A lot of them are domestic violence abusers, and have been abused and still in abusive relationships. And it's like, for me, my family's a trigger for me, Jeff, because I've left that behind. I no longer make excuses as to why I can't be great. Me living in a foster home has nothing to do with my future, and it doesn't affect me as a person. I choose to be better because I want to be better. And they're just not there. So I just, it's a strained relationship with my biological siblings, but at the end of the day, I love them to death, and there's nothing that I wouldn't do for them. So it's just, you outgrow people after a while.
Yeah. I wanted to also point out that Adam
Oh,
said in
thank
the
you.
comments, happy birthday.
Thank you, Adam.
And then I'm curious. So,
Mhm.
how would you tell someone that they need to love themselves if they haven't experienced love?
You know what? I had to realize that love comes from within. Love is something that is so deeply rooted inside of us. We were made from love. Love is us. If you want to know what love is, you just look in that mirror. And that person standing back at you, that is exactly what love is. Love is whatever you want it to be. Self love is the greatest thing that any one human can absolutely experience, because without it, there's no beings to this earth whatsoever. So once you discover that, then you will truly discover yourself.
What would you call self-love though? I mean, how would you describe that to somebody that has never really experienced that?
You know what? I would describe it as just being in tune with who you are as a person and being real with yourself. A lot of people walk around with masks nowadays. They put on the facade of who they think people want them to be instead of dealing with the reality of who they actually are. And if you can't really deal with who you are as a person, you can't really expect other people to do that. So there's something inside of you that you have to figure out what you're missing and why can't I get jump that hurdle to get there. You have to discover who you are as a person at the end of the day, who you are, what you want, your worth, and you just have to take it from there. You can't expect people to love who you are as a person if you don't really know who you are as a person.
Yeah. If anybody out there has any questions for Star or myself, don't be afraid to ask them because, like I said before, we want to have a conversation with you instead of making a presentation to you. So we would appreciate it, comments. But so, what is the biggest thing someone can do to love themselves?
You know what? Just start taking care of yourself. Just really start spending some time with yourself. I think a lot of people are afraid to be by themselves because they're really afraid to find out who they are as a person. For me, it was jumping in from relationship to relationship, you know, um, trying to figure out who this person wants me to be in this relationship. When in all reality, I don't know who I want to be as a woman and as a
Yeah.
person. So I think if people really, really just took some time for themselves and start developing that self love and that self worth, you'll figure it out eventually. I mean, that's how I got there. I had to just cut it off. I had to cut everybody off. And I had to take time for Star because I had to figure out who Star was and what she wanted out of this life.
Yeah. That you're a star. That's what you are.
It's really Jeff.
Sorry, I love your name. I find that to be
Thank you.
awesome. I used to
Thank
walk
you.
around being like, I'm a star. Yeah, that's just
Rock
awesome to
stars,
me.
baby.
So you said you're an aspire. Oh, wait a minute here. We got another question.
All right, all right.
Um, When do you think you discovered to put yourself first in order to learn to love yourself? Would you do anything differently now?
No, I can honestly say about almost 3 years ago, something very traumatic happened to me. I was in a abusive relationship and I was tortured for 6 hours and he almost killed me. And I can vividly remember that night, that that night my life almost ended, but in a way it actually begun. It was like a light bulb went off, and I had to realize that whatever energy that I'm putting out, I'm getting it back in return, and it almost killed me. So I have to start carrying myself in a better way. I have to start thinking a better way. I have to start living my life in a better way. And I think that was a very pivotal moment in my life, a very turnful moment in my life because, I come from a domestic violence background. My sisters were all domestically violence abused. My mother was domestically violence abused. And it was only a matter of time before it happened to me. But the difference between me and them is that I chose not to stay. I chose to leave. And, I can honestly tell you that, when a woman is in that type of situation, there's a very pivotal moment that she goes through, and she has to figure out whether she's going to stay or whether she's going to go. And that fragment of a second is going to change her life. And as that moment went through my mind, I made the decision to go, and it had been the best decision that I've ever made in my life because it my life begun after that. I knew that's when the self love started. That's when the self worth started. That's when the value of who I am as a person, as a woman, as a mother, and what I bring to this world and what I have to offer. That's when all of that started to settle in. So, not to say that everyone has to go through something like that, but for me, it took me going through something that tragic in order for the light bulb goes off, for the light bulb to go off. And I hope that no one else has to go through that. But if you are, at some point in time, that light bulb is going to go off. And the thing is that it's either going to go off or it's going to go out. So you have to just make that decision.
Now that
Yeah.
is powerful. That light bulb is either gonna go off or it is going to go out. It's your
Yeah.
decision to make.
It's your decision. Yep.
Wow, that is super powerful. So, do you happen to have any contact information you would like people to have? And if not,
Um,
that's all right.
all this is so new to me, Jeff. So I have contact information on Facebook and Instagram. I am still working on my website. That is in the process. I have finished my book. I'm still working to publish that. So I have a lot of stuff that I'm working on right now, Jeff. But I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok. I have a YouTube page.
Wow.
So, if you need anything or just hit me up. I promise you within the next couple of years I'll be at Jeff's level, so don't worry.
All right.
Yes.
So we do have one other question from Ben first,
Okay.
and I don't want to miss this because I think
Okay.
it is one that deserves to be read. So, what
Okay.
can you tell someone that is going through a similar situation to what you went through?
Um, you have to make a decision. You have to make a choice in how you want your life to begin or do you want it to end? Because the thing about being a human is that we all get choices. So whatever choice that you decide to make is the one you're gonna have to live with at the end of the day. Like I said, I don't wish going what I had to go through on anybody, but if anyone is going in that similar situation or they feel like it may be heading down that situation, no one's going to pull you out of that but yourself. You have to want to leave that situation because I can be honest with you. I had a sister that was in an abusive relationship for 20 years. It took her 20 years to get out of that situation. And I can count on more than one hand where I had to go literally save my sister. But she had to want to get out of that relationship. Thank God that she's out of it and she's been out of it for over 10 years now. But You know, it's just one abusive relationship after the next. But you have to be that one to make that choice. No one can make that choice for you. You have to
Yeah.
want it.
All right. That's so true. But unfortunately, we're out of time.
Oh
But a
no.
quick conversation. Adam
Yes,
did say, great, superb discussion and podcast. He's super glad that you were on the road to discovering yourself.
yes.
So
Thank you.
but I need you and everybody out there to do me a
Yes,
favor this week,
absolutely.
next week, and for the rest of your life. I need you to make every second count. Why?
Absolutely.
Because you never know when the seconds will run out on your
Mhm.
one life. I'll see you guys back here next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And until then, have a fantastic week and don't forget to be kind to yourself.
Yes.
Thank you again,
Bye,
Star.
everybody. You're welcome, Jeff. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye.